So we've been talking about misinformation and disinformation, and I wanted to give a little bit of perspective on the media's role in countering that and what we do here and how our process works. So part of how I'm a reporter who, as Adam said, covers the Statehouse and politics. So I've covered a few election campaigns here. And part of what we want to do with elections is we want to give people the best information about the candidates, their elected officials, traditional reporting. We want them to understand the policy positions of the people they're voting for, but we also want to write about how the election system works so that people know how they can vote, what they need, if they need ID, just kind of the nuts and bolts of like how they can actually participate in the system. And then also just understanding how the system works so that once the election is concluded, they know and they can have confidence in how their vote and everyone else's vote is counted. So the coverage that I've done has kind of fallen into those buckets, right? Of reporting on candidate statements, campaigns, policy positions, on the very basic information of how does the election system work? Here's where you need to go to vote. Here's what you need to bring when you vote. And then also the fact checking of mis and disinformation. So last year, the USA Today network, which the Des Moines Register is a part of, had a fact-checking partnership with Facebook where they would flag articles that were potentially false, and reporters would, actually go out and do the reporting to confirm or deny those sort of viral posts that could potentially be false information. And then they would actually be attached to the fact check themselves would actually be attached to the viral posts on Facebook to sort of try to slow the spread of that. But as we were hearing earlier, it can be kind of difficult to keep up once something is out there, unfortunately. So those are some of the efforts that we take. We also think a lot about trust, and we talked about trusting news organizations earlier. We in the media also think a lot about how we can make sure we have people's trust. So we try to be as transparent as possible about our processes and how we do the work that we do. And that just means explaining our decisions, explaining how the reporting process works for people, and also just making sure that people know that we're real people who live in their community, right? So we're not sort of an anonymous name on a manufactured news story. We're somebody who lives and works in the community with these other people. So those are kind of some of the ways that we think about what we do. And then going forward into 2022, it's important to keep an eye also on how the election system is changing, right? And so it's not enough to say one time, oh, here's what you need to do when you go vote, because as we've seen, states are passing different laws, changing their systems up. And so each election is a little bit different, and we want to make sure that we have the current information for people so that they know how their system and their process works. Yeah, and so definitely it can be difficult when there's polarization and people sort of gravitate to, as Sarah was talking about earlier, the position that best fits their viewpoint. But hopefully being very clear, being transparent and very straightforward with our reporting, we're able to at least give a source for that accurate information that people need.